the point is that an inflationary token ecosystem essentially promotes spending. And so Ethereum, as a result, has a whole host of users that are very okay to spend because they're like, I'm going to earn it through staking, so I'm going to go spend it a little bit here. It's I'm not sure how familiar you are with mental accounting, but it's an interesting it's a construct where you could be earning the same amount of money, but if you earn it in a different way, you spend it more easily. Right? It's the reason why when you go and win in a casino, for some reason there's all these luxury stores right outside, just ready for you to buy something because it feels like easy money, right? And I did this poll once before, just to test it out by myself. I said, would you spend on a Bored Ape? I think it was like 11 ETH, or would you spend like $34,000, like in comparison? And the majority said I would spend 11 ETH when they were both the same value, right? So from a pure money standpoint, something like if you would normally just say, I would, it wouldn't matter. But actually, for again, it's the mental accounting. And that's also why altcoins, whether it's Sand or airdrops that you have with ApeCoin or with Mocha, they spend them more readily as well because it's earned a certain way. Right? And so as Ethereum rises, actually what happens is spending rises. So that means NFT sales go up, which they have been doing, which means other token buying goes up. And so it goes. Right? So Ethereum rising has a much more significant impact than Bitcoin rising for ecosystem. It does have an impact because there's a crossover, but it's not the same. So if Ethereum were to hit, say, $6,000 or $7,000, $8,000, the amount of spending that would happen in gaming tokens and general altcoin ecosystem would really, really sort of rise in significant ways. And I would argue differently so than even Solana, because Solana is much more, because of its nature, speculative, and it's evolving into what Ethereum has become. But Ethereum had it earlier with ICOs, right? So the whole sort of Solana meme coin cycle is what ICOs was for Ethereum in 2017. So they're not quite there yet, but whereas Ethereum guys, when you talk to some of the guys, they're a little bit more, I would call them sort of arrogant or something. I would just call them maybe a little bit more sort of highbrow about it, right? They don't do this type of stuff or whatever, right? Because they now have money and they have culture and they buy CryptoPunks, right? It's actually very, very classical societal evolution, right?